皆さん、こんにちは。今日はイギリスのブライトンの、ブライトン SEO というカンファレンスに来ています。で、おなじみの、Google のサーチレレーションズチームのマーティンにちょっといろいろ聞いてみたいと思います。Hi, Martin. Thank you for coming.
Thanks a lot for having me again.
It was nice to have you again. Yes. Today, I'm going to ask some questions about JavaScript, which you are familiar with.
Yes.
Okay, first question is, a study by Russell found that AI chatbots such as ChatGPT and Claude struggle to understand JavaScript-generated content. It appears their crawlers have trouble rendering JavaScript effectively. In contrast, Google Gemini was able to understand JS-generated content. Could this be because Google shares content rendered by Google or WRS with its AI tools?
Not quite. So we don't share what Googlebot sees for web search, but Google's, I think it's called Google Extended, the AI crawler that Gemini uses also renders. So it uses WRS, but it's basically like we have a service, Googlebot uses the service, and Gemini uses the service as well.
So technically, WRS is shared
It's
with
shared,
AI
exactly.
crawlers and Google.
It's a service that can be used by many different things in Google. Yes.
I see. So that means Google AI crawlers have advantages over other LLM.
I mean, the others could build infrastructure like that, yeah.
I see. Russell also found that Google and Bing sometimes took several weeks to render JavaScript after crawling a page. I thought rendering usually happened quite quickly.
Yeah.
Medium time is
5 seconds.
So are there really cases where it takes that long?
So there are two things. Number one, there are cases where it does take that long, but not the rendering itself, more like a problem with actually scheduling the indexing pipeline. So it might be crawled, but then it doesn't actually process into the indexing pipeline because some system might have thought that this isn't as important, but we will eventually get to it, but other things take priority. Number two is, it might be also the way they measure, because actually measuring when something is rendered is really hard, so it might actually sometimes just give you incorrect data. So it's a bit of a mix, but most of the things actually get rendered quite quickly.
So we don't have to worry about the delay.
No. Like I think the 99th percentile is within minutes. So
the case revealed by Russell is kind of edge case?
I would have to double check their study, but I think it's an edge case, yes.
I see. All right, next question is, even though Googlebot is now much better at rendering JavaScript, is server-side rendering still generally recommended over client-side rendering? Assuming the answer is yes, could you outline the advantages of using SSR?
Right.
I'd also like to understand any potential drawbacks.
Okay. So that is a question that you need to look at on a case-by-case basis. So if you have a website that is a classical website that is basically just presenting information to the user, then requiring JavaScript is a drawback because it can break, it can cause problems, it will make things slower, it will need more battery on your phone. So if it's static content, I would not use client-side rendering. I would prefer server-side rendering or pre-rendering even by presenting just like static HTML. If you have something that is very dynamic, like a CAD application or a video editor or something like that, where content is kind of secondary, then I think it makes sense to do client-side rendering because you get all the advantages of high interactive websites, APIs, and you can actually make a very interactive application. So if you're building applications on the web, client-side rendering is a good idea. If not, then server-side rendering is a better idea. Server-side rendering has the downside of limited, very, very limited interactivity, and it might be a little more complicated to set up the infrastructure for it. So it's not one or the other, it is two tools. Do you need a hammer or do you need a screwdriver? That depends on what you're trying to do. If you try to screw in something, a screwdriver will win. If you try to hammer in a nail, a hammer will win. So depending on if you build a website, SSR will win. If you build an application, something more interactive on the web, then CSR will be better.
So whether to use SSR or CSR is completely depends on what services or products you're employing and what systems I'm using.
Yes.
Right. I see. So the next question is SSR also preferable for LLMs?
I mean, at the moment, we know that other AI companies like ChatGPT and so on, I think, are not rendering. So if you're interested in getting your content into those, then probably SSR is better for them. But I don't know how long that's going to be the case. If that still is the case, I don't know. I can't comment on other companies. For us, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
I see. So next question is not about JavaScript, but structured data.
Okay.
So Fabrice Camel from Microsoft Bing said structured data is helpful for Bing, Microsoft LLM to understand content better. How about Google? Same.
More structured data gives us more information and gives us more confidence in the information. So it makes sense to have structured data. Yes.
So you'd recommend adding structured data even for LLMs?
Makes sense.
I know it's not guaranteed what kind of results we can get.
It makes sense. If it makes sense, use structured data. If it doesn't make sense, then don't try to pry it in.
Does structured data push rankings?
No, does not. No.
Could you give Japanese SEO some nice message?
I think Gary might be the better person to do that because he knows the ecosystem better in Japan. But keep doing the great things. Think about your users. Figure out what is your business goal, how to make users happy, and then just create great content.
All right, that's
awesome.
all.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to talking with you. It's
nice talking to you as well. And all the best to everyone out there. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.